Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Welcome to the Daily Themba Kevin Show. Bah, 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 bah. Now, I'm going to try to find the effect for that so I don't have to put you guys through me making that sound. But yeah, guys, we have changed the name of the show. And that is because some people were complaining, say, the show is not original, the show reminds us of something else, you're such a copycat, copycats never win, copycats never go far in life. Well, Tonight with Trevor Noah is a South African talk show produced by Urban Brew and hosted by comedian Trevor Noah in the tradition of late night shows such as The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, The Late Show with Conan O'Brien, and satirical fare like The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. Oh, did they just say copying The Daily Show?
The ruling party, the African National Congress, also known as the ANC, and they recently had their National General Council out in Durban.
5 years later.
From Comedy Central's World News headquarters in New York, this is The Daily Show with Trevor Noah.
So all you haters better shut up before I come back with Bill Gates on your ass.
Locals into a frenzy.
I'm just playing, guys. But moving on from changing the name of the show, I want to talk about something that hasn't changed. In fact, it has gotten worse. And that is the situation in Zimbabwe. President Emmerson Mnangagwa is proving that no matter how bad things are, they can always get worse.
The economy has been high on his agenda, with promises of bringing prosperity to Zimbabwe. But unemployment and inflation are on the rise, with fuel and food prices spiralling out of control. Zimbabwe is one of the most food-insecure nations in the world. Freedoms are also in decline. Mnangagwa is being criticised for his handling of dissent, especially cracking down on peaceful protests and arresting critics. And a growing number of political arrests and allegations of corruption have undermined the president's promises of change.
The government of Emmerson Mnangagwa has shut the country down after opposition groups called for protests against corruption and economic mismanagement.
Right above South Africa, our fellow black people are living a reality that we last saw under the apartheid regime, except this time the oppressing government is a black government. The people of Zimbabwe are being brutally beaten, murdered, and raped for protesting against corruption in the government. The Zimbabwean government has been accused of siphoning COVID-19 relief funds. This has caused major uproar, with people taking to the streets in protests in cities such as Bulawayo and Harare.
Chaos and violence as Zimbabwe police clashed with opposition supporters, firing tear gas and water cannons to disperse the protesters.
The government has basically turned the lockdown into a crackdown, and the delusional leader, Mr. Mnangagwa, has even come out to offer support for the people of Zimbabwe while his very government is oppressing them.
The people who run Zimbabwe are sending its citizens a powerful message. Dissent in any form will not be tolerated. Here, residents of a township in the capital, Harare, were beaten for sitting outside.
The President Emmerson Mnangagwa has called on his citizens to unite in the face of difficulties. Now, breaking his silence after days of protests, we heard Mnangagwa saying and assuring Zimbabweans of their civil liberties as well as their individual rights. However, he says that public officials and security forces will continue to enforce COVID-19 lockdown regulations.
The struggle against corruption should continue. People should not stop. They should carry on with it.
Critics of the government say officials are using this as an opportunity, as an excuse to suppress media freedom and to stop people from gathering. They're saying they're using COVID-19 pandemic as an excuse, and human rights organizations are concerned.
You are afraid of being beaten.
Now, it is clear that Zimbabwe needs our support. And in the past few weeks, celebrities and media personalities and other influential people have been offering that support. But just yesterday, media personality Lasizwe tweeted, "I stand with Zimbabwe." And his tweet was made by homophobic comments from 3 accounts seemingly belonging to Zimbabweans. Now, these are obviously a bunch of losers. And I would like to urge all South Africans not to change the way they feel about a country because of a bunch of losers. After all, nobody judges us because of Bafana Bafana. as I would have loved to start the new show off with a bang, the explosion in Beirut is not what I had in mind. Yesterday, over 100 people are confirmed dead and thousands injured in the explosion that took place at the port of Beirut in Lebanon. The death toll is still expected to rise as authorities continue to clear out the debris. If you haven't seen these images, please brace yourself. This explosion was so big that it affected people kilometers away from the port, and some people claim that they could have been injured or killed in their office if they weren't working from home due to the coronavirus.
Okay, I only put that in there so someone can tell it to my boss because I hate being in the office at this time, but I understand if it's too soon. I'm sorry.
And just think about that for a second. That is like a hitman going to your house to kill you and not finding you there because you're downstairs running away from a serial killer. What the hell is going on in 2020, guys? And on that note, that has been the first episode of the Daily Themba Kevin Show. Don't forget to hit like, drop a comment, and click the subscribe button. Also, pray for Zimbabwe and pray for Lebanon. Cheers.